Hey, explain Blatchford to me and what you guys were debating yesterday, because I don't really understand. I never understood this project from the start, and I don't.
Well,
really
it was an airport for a while, and then
I heard that part.
We decided that we should close it, and because it was not viable as an airport going into the future, and we wanted to consolidate, and that took 20 years to make that decision. We're trying not to take 20 years to make decisions anymore. So here we are now with the airport closed as of last November, and we're we had made some commitments to develop it into a wonderful kind of community, a different kind of community than we've seen in Edmonton before. I describe it a little bit as our Brooklyn. It's a medium density community that's going to really work for families. It's going to be walkable and walkable in the sense that it's going to have a great public realm with great parks and great connectivity through to the activity centers, which will be around NAIT and around the LRT station and around great park space in the center of it, and that park, by the way, is not just, it's going to help the development, it's going to make the development appealing, but it's going to be a large-scale park that's going to be an amenity for all of north central north central Edmonton, and and because it's 2 stops on the LRT away from downtown, it can even be a park that's relevant to people from downtown as well, and anyone along the LRT line, anyone who wants to get to it. So it's a medium density development. It's also going to be a very energy efficient development, and partly that's about environmental leadership, but it's also about cost effectiveness over time. So you pay to live in an environmentally or energy efficient development, and you're going to have lower energy costs. So there's a business case for this. And so this is partly about market transformation in the sense that we're hoping that with a development like this, the consumers all around the housing market in Edmonton are going to start asking questions about energy efficiency of their homes, because it's in their best interests economically, and it's in the city's best interests environmentally, and the world's best interests environmentally for us to be concerned about this. And so our purpose there is to build a great neighborhood for 30,000 people, to not lose our shirts doing it, to demonstrate environmental leadership, to demonstrate that there's a market for medium density housing and urban living in the core that's transit oriented, and it's going to be appealing to people, because for the same reason that Brooklyn is a cool place to live, the density will be sufficient to support restaurants, coffee shops, that urban life that when you say, what would you really like in your neighborhood? If you could get one thing added into your neighborhood, people say generally all around Edmonton, I'd love if there was a coffee shop or like a bookstore, a place where I could gather, a place where, that I could walk to in my neighborhood. You need a certain level of density to support that. There's a reason why those exist in Oliver, why they exist in Strathcona, and why they'll work at Blatchford. There's a certain level of density that supports that. And we'll be able to do that there, show that that's viable, show that there's a market for it in Edmonton, that there's a taste for urban living, and I'm sure there is. And then, we expect over time that we're going to be able to recover our front-end investment. We figure at any given time our exposure on this will be up to a maximum of $80 million. That's what we authorized yesterday, to come back to your question, is borrowing for up to that much at any given time over the course of development. That's essentially our line of credit to do this. To be very clear, that's to be paid back by proceeds of the development, both the interest and the principal. So we're not going to taxpayers for that. We just need to authorize the financing in order to do the front end work to bring the land online, and then as we start to sell land, whether it's to NAIT as they expand, which is one of the things we accommodate with this, or to private builders who are going to build the housing and the commercial development on it. When those revenues start to come back, we think at the end, and this is a 25-year projection, so it's imprecise, and we all should accept that. But right now, with dollars of the day, not today's dollars, we expect to net something in the neighborhood of $200 million